KiKi's being called a rising star. In fact, since 2018, when she burst onto the scene with a gripping and beautiful performance as the lead in the critically acclaimed award-winning drama, If Beale Street Could Talk. KiKi Layne joins me now from Cincinnati, Ohio. Congratulations on everything. Have you
Thank
seen
you.
all of the love on social media?
It's been amazing and it just feels so good. We've been waiting so long for this to come out. So it just feels good. It's finally here.
Well, okay, so you're much younger than most of us, than me for sure. So you haven't waited as long as we've waited. You saw
This
the
is true.
movie. I'm sure. How old were you when you saw the first version? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly how old I was. I know I was definitely a lot younger than maybe I should have been to watch the first one for the first time. But yeah.
Well, now, I mean, how surreal is it to now be a part of history? I mean, one of the most anticipated sequels in modern movies, and there you are, Princess Mika, the star of it. You know, the legacy now in your hands.
I mean, it feels amazing. I grew up watching the film. I mean, it's my one of my family's go-to films to watch, and to now be a part of the sequel, and this just feels, I don't know, a bit more personal because of that reason, because it was such a part of me,
Yeah.
my childhood, how much we watched it. It's just one of those things. I just feel just so much gratitude, and I just feel really blessed.
Yeah. You know, that's so interesting you say that because people ask me, what did you think when you saw it? I said, it was like a family reunion. You know, you go
Hmm.
back and you see uncles and cousins that you haven't seen in a long time and you're there. And maybe you didn't want to go and you're happy you went after all because you leave with, it's like some food for the soul. And I know that when Eddie created the film, we just talked with him earlier, that it was important to have that Black excellence, that Black legacy be brought
Yes.
on film.
Yes, I mean, it feels amazing to be a part of that and to be invited into the family, because what you just said, yes, family
Yeah.
reunion, that's what it felt like on set as well. And to be, one of the newbies to the family, but to be welcomed with open arms and now to be a part of that legacy feels amazing. I mean, the first film was so profound for us, representing Black people as kings and queens and showing the richness of our history and where we come from. So to be a part of continuing to, tell that version of the story that's often left out of the conversation, and to work alongside the people I got to work with, I mean, it just feels incredible.
I mean, come on. You, though, were standing next to some of the funniest people on the planet, not just in America, the funniest people on the planet. I read that you were relieved, though, because your role is more serious. I mean, you are the
Yes.
action as a compliment to the comedy. Was that, you said that was a relief not to have to, the pressure of trying to be funny?
Yes, I got to do what I, have proven to be good at. One of my teachers in college, she said to us, it's a lot easier to make people cry than it is to make people laugh. So it was wonderful to be around people who have, really mastered the craft of making people laugh, but I wasn't so tasked with doing that myself. But I did get to have fun. And a big part of that, Jermaine Fowler was definitely encouraging me on set, to improvise and, to break away from the script, or maybe, what we came into the scene thinking we were going to do. So I still got to, tap into that a bit, but I got to just come in and be straight and narrow a bit more than everybody else, I think.
You know, I just heard you say, to do what I'm good at. Obviously, I fell in love with you watching If Beale Street Could Talk, and the importance of that being brought to life on film to have a whole generation of people finally see August Wilson's work. Let me ask you, though, I can't believe it when I read it, that there was a point where you debated or that you were ready to give up Hollywood. You said before that big screen debut, to just weeks before you landed the breakout role, that you were about ready to go. You went to a tarot card reading, and that gave you some enlightenment. What happened?
Well, actually, what happened is I mean, there was so much that happened. there was a night where basically I was just feeling so incredibly discouraged. I had moved to LA a few months prior, but moved in a way in which I just didn't have everything planned out. And, I hadn't really saved all the money, that a person should save
Mhm.
before making that type of move. And I was just going through so much and just feeling so discouraged. And there was a night, I mean, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was losing my mind. And I'm praying, I'm reading my Bible, and I am just asking the universe, saying, I need some type of message because I came out here believing that there was something out here for me. And now I'm feeling discouraged. And my roommate at the time, she happened to have a deck of tarot cards. And prior to me moving to LA, another friend of mine, she had did the first tarot reading I had ever did. And I just was so trying to grab at any type of message, just because I was in such a
Wow.
state of discouragement. So I banged on my roommate's door. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I grabbed those cards, and I don't know anything about tarot. All I knew is that a lot of the cards that I saw that I was pulling for myself were cards that my friend had pulled for me some months prior. And I just saw that as something, I don't know, a repeat of some of those messages that I had gotten earlier in the year of,
Wow.
yes, I'm supposed to be here. I was supposed to make that move. And that's that.
Yeah.
And then I think it was
Yeah. Well, they
maybe
say
not
that the
even
signs
2
are.
weeks later that I got to audition for Beale Street.
You talk a lot about faith on your social media. We have an upcoming show on keeping the faith. When you look back at all of this, as I said, working with Eddie Murphy, some of the biggest in the business, and the project that you have with Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles and things that you're producing and writing on your own, how do you describe it?
I mean, faith is everything to me. Even on my Instagram, on my bio, it says, faith makes things possible, not easy. It is my driving force. I wanted to act since I was a little girl, and I feel it's something that I've been called to do. So I know that there's a greater purpose in it. It's not just serving myself, so my name can be
Yeah.
in lights. I think God is trying to do something bigger. But just because you're called to do something, and because you know that something is purposeful in your life, doesn't mean that you're not going to face struggles and moments of discouragement and feeling unsure. And that is the faith journey and the work that goes along with being faithful. It doesn't mean everything's being handed to you.
Well, it has not been handed to you, but you've certainly grabbed it and owned it and given us some beautiful work since your debut. Thank you
Mhm.
so much, Kiki, and congratulations on everything.
Thank you so much.